One of the immediate casualties of the Battle of Valcour Island was the gunboat Philadelphia, which sank 1 hour after the fighting stopped. The Philadelphia rested on the bottom of Valcour Bay for 159 years. In 1935, Colonel Lorenzo Haglin located the vessel by dragging a wire between two boats. Diver William Lilja verified the momentous discovery, and the recovery process began. In preparation for lifting the Philadelphia, her 3 large cannons were first recovered. The hull was then carefully rigged with spreaders, and on August 9th, the mast of the historic ship broke the surface. Haglin devoted the rest of his life to preserving and exhibiting the gunboat, and arranged that upon his death, the boat would go to the Smithsonian Institution. In 1961, the Philadelphia was packed in a gunboat-shaped white oak shipping crate and sent by water to the new National Museum of American History. Once there, museum specialist Howard Hoffman devoted the next decade to documenting every aspect of the ship's construction and creating an extraordinary set of builder's plans. In 1989, with the Smithsonian Institution's rare endorsement and using Hoffman's superb plans, the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum embarked on a landmark project to build a full-sized working replica of the Philadelphia.
This vessel is going to be sailing on this lake as a reminder to Canadians, Americans, and any others who come of what one of the major features of our early history has been.
The Philadelphia, too, was to serve as the centerpiece for interpretation of the Champlain Valley during the American struggle for independence, and it instantly galvanized wide community enthusiasm. A logger from Bethel, Vermont, donated the trees for the mast, and school children and businesses rallied to support the project.
Timber!
In August 1991, on the anniversary of the original Philadelphia joining the American squadron, the Philadelphia, too, was made ready for launching.
One of our big concerns was actually getting the boat from the shoreline into the water in front of thousands of people without looking silly. And we also wanted to design it in such a way that we could control the movement of the boat so that it wasn't wildly flying across the harbor.
As a crowd of more than 4,000 viewers gathered at Basin Harbor, final preparations were made to transform the ship into a floating classroom.
You have renewed in all of us, Vermonters, New Yorkers, no matter where we're from, the kind of sense of history that we have had in the past for Lake Champlain, that we have today, and that our children and our grandchildren will have in the future. Thank you very, very much.
Paul P. Pass it back, lads. Pass it back.
Suddenly there's this object that's been static in your shop for all this time, moving beneath your feet, and you really get the sense that the boat has been born. She's become a living thing. And that was very exciting, the first time I felt her shift and creak and move.
Over the next 2 seasons, the Philadelphia, too, traveled the lake to ports in Vermont, New York, and Canada. She now resides at the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum's North Harbor, where she is seasonally boarded by thousands of school children and other visitors. The true irony of this story occurs just a few years later, when in 1997, researchers from the Maritime Museum, conducting a sonar survey of Lake Champlain, discovered an intriguing target on the lake bottom. In 1996, responding to the recent infestation of zebra mussels, the Maritime Museum had begun an ambitious, systematic examination of the entire bottom of Lake Champlain. Utilizing side-scan sonar, our goal was to locate and document all the undiscovered shipwrecks in the lake before zebra mussels made this difficult or impossible. Over the past 3 seasons, we have examined over 120 square miles and located 25 new shipwrecks. But the sonar target located in 1997 has created the most excitement. Our sonar team was carefully examining the lake when a uniquely shaped target appeared, and we knew we had made a significant discovery. The first step taken to confirm the target was to stage a verification dive. 2 experienced divers made the deep and complex dive and became the first people to view and confirm that this was one of Benedict Arnold's gunboats, missing for over 221 years.
Gunboat. Gunboat.
Beautiful shape.
Yeah.
Poor old thing. Eric, the mast. Roll there, buddy.
Ready? Cross arm?
Yep. Hot mast too.
Trestle trees, everything, huh?
Everything.
Cannons are all there?
Just one. Just one.
Really?
Bow gun.
The next step in the documentation process was to return to the site with a remote-operated vehicle. The ROV explored the site and recorded it with both video and still camera systems. At the site's depth, the ROV can stay underwater far longer than a diver and provide excellent documentation.
Which way is the line going now? Okay, good. Now,
There it is.
There it is.
You guys thought I was kidding.
Here we go.
There's the bow, you'll know it. That's the stern. That's the rudder right there.
Come to your right a bit, Rick.
Stanchion posts. Hawse pipe hole coming up.
Okay.
And there's the cannon, boys and girls.
Lying down on the deck.
It's right in its original position, just all the way forward.
what is it?
Let's come around, take a bow in, look at it.
Great, good perspective right there, guys.
That's good. A little closer, Rick. Ready?
We presume, no, this is the big 12, we presume it's a 12-pounder based on all the...
Bring it up just a bit.
Beautiful.
Is that you?
Nice shot. Nice shot.
I'm gonna look at
I wouldn't worry about any of this mast unless we see something that looks like cannons, cannon damage or something like that. It's, at the top here, the very top mast. Now we'll need to capture that. And then let's keep going up the top mast to this. Remember, there'll be a broken piece that will be relatively close. And you want to stand off till we can actually see it, I think. Right. There it is. There it is. Broken piece of the top.
The very tip broken.
Yes. Well, we'll want to photograph where this break is right at the top. I believe so. Right
Like
there.
a hole right there.
That's it, right there.
Finally, after the gunboat had been confirmed, came the public announcement.
We have found what we believe to be the last missing gunboat of Benedict Arnold's fleet from 1776. The fleet that engaged the British at the Battle of Valcour Island and that delayed their advance into the colonies for a full year and gave the Americans the time they needed to prepare for Saratoga and defeat the British at that crucial turning point of the American Revolution.
A piece of history that harkens back to the days when Lake Champlain was the battleground for a revolution, a war that secured American independence. Today, pictures of the last warship from the fleet of Benedict Arnold were released to the public.
As history was being made here in Hong Kong tonight, a remarkable piece of American history has been uncovered in the deep waters of Lake Champlain.
I've called Lake Champlain the nation's 6th Great Lake because of its ecological importance. Historically, though, it is our nation's first Great Lake.
Now comes the most important part of the process, planning for the future preservation of this important ship. This undisturbed Revolutionary War vessel is a national treasure and a true reconnection to the formative years of America. What we do now will determine how this legacy will survive for future generations.